Hi, everyone. Welcome into Prime Time. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my husband, Dennis Kelly. We have some really good tips for you. Are you stressed out these days? You glad the election is all over? It doesn't matter who you voted for. Stick around. We have some great tips for all. We'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV show. I'm really excited about the show today because I've noticed that there's so much going on in the world today. We haven't been here doing a live show in a little bit, and since the election, I noticed that there's just things hovering around there. And it's affecting a lot of people in families and in businesses and just day to day, just everything in life. Have you found that too?
Well, especially when you're driving on the highways.
That's right.
People are driving like they're crazy, like they're in a hurry to get somewhere to nowhere.
Well, exactly, somewhere to nowhere. We were actually cut off 4 or 5 times just on the way to the studio, and it's only like a 15-minute drive, right? So go figure, right?
They're taking it out on their car on the road. They feel like they're the king, they can get off their frustrations on the road. Unfortunately, some other drivers have to pay for that.
Right. Well, it's not that we're insensitive to what is going on in the world, but the thing is that we had quite an in-depth discussion about this whole stressful thing. And being that our company is Defy Aging, Inc., I was asking myself something about, okay, what is Defy Aging? How do we defy aging? And I came to this conclusion through meditation and prayer. It's, you defy the aging process by attacking what is actually at the root of the cause, right?
Right.
So, and I'm thinking, why is it that there's so much chaos and so much of this and so much of that? And what can we do to actually help that? And so I thought, well, okay, let's define stress. And I actually wrote this down based on your definition. And there's many causes for it, all right? Whether it's, like I say, politics, government, financial hardship, family stresses, personal relationships, business. You make it, you lose it. You make it, lose it. You're trying to start all over again. I mean, everybody's doing the best they can, sometimes, with what they have. But the one thing about stress is if you really stop to think about this, and you even write it down, you've always said it's when the perception of life's events do not meet up with our expectations and we fail to manage the results. What does that actually mean? It means that rather than responding to different situations, and we have so many concepts all day long, and I'm going to toss this over to the pro here in just a second, but because of so many concept changes, because people cutting us off in traffic, because so much that's going on in the world, we need to know and learn how to respond maybe a little bit better and improve, because what we are doing to ourselves, believe me, I've been there. You've been there, right, Kelly?
Absolutely,
many
times.
We don't handle the stress the best way we possibly can, and we are not defying the aging process. And what happens to our body, which my husband is going to explain to you, is we are actually adding to the aging process at a younger age. And we have the choice to determine how to handle that stress, because not only does it affect you in the moment, it can affect you all day long, and the next day, and the next day, and it just eventually builds up to where nobody really wants to be around you. And so the reason why I'm on my soapbox today about this, because it's critical. I just told my sister, I forget somebody, I said, I can master stress. That I can master. Am I a grandmaster at it like you? No, I'm a work in progress. I truly am. But a lot of the different things that we've gone through in our life, from crisis to your crazy condition with the Parkinson's and the ups and downs with that and everything, I've really had to learn how to master stress. And thanks to you, I know that I'm there now. But to be able to be a grandmaster at it, that's taking it to a higher level. But I want you to explain to people what happens to our body physically, physiologically, emotionally, and mentally, so that we all understand that we're actually contributing it ourselves for premature aging, and in many cases, premature death. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's all
Actually,
yours
90
now.
to 95% of all illness and reasons why people are on the surgeon's table is stress, not managing the stress. We all have stress. The key thing is to manage stress. Once you make stress your slave, rather than you become the slave to stress, a whole new world opens up. In fact, Anna Weiss puts it quite eloquently in her book, The High Performance Mind. She says the high performance mind is one that at will can reach that state of consciousness that is most desirable and beneficial for any given circumstance. What she's saying there is quite profound, and there's a lot of logic to it, is that once you learn to control your emotions, control it so that no matter what situation happens, you can bring out the emotion that's applicable to actually controlling that situation. And it takes practice like anything else. It's your emotional IQ.
Right, right.
It's your emotional rather than your intellectual IQ that determines upon how successful you're going to be.
But do you think that we get in this habit of, you can either create a habit to go this way or a habit to go this way, but is really disconcerting is when it affects us physiologically. And we were talking about the vagus nerve. We only have 5 minutes to go, but we're giving you all this crazy news about how stress affects us psychologically, physically, and all that. But you're going to give a very good solution, because it also affects our focus and concentration in business and in relationships and our family life and everything. But you were explaining to me about the vagus nerve and how it affects, what was it, the
P53 gene.
P53 gene. This is scary. This is scary.
I don't mean to scare anyone.
No, but it's a reason to get a hold of ourselves.
But that's the whole deal is, in other words, I can lead somebody to the water. I can't make them drink.
Right.
If they want to dehydrate, that's up to them.
Ah, very good.
So what I try to do is provide the water. And it's up to the individual to really decide whether they want to drink from that water.
Yes.
Stress, once you learn to control stress, it opens a whole new avenue for health, fitness. It's like, it could be a school teacher, it could be an athlete, it doesn't matter. Once you are under the spell of stress, where stress controls you, then there's nothing you can do that can get past just the minimum amount of your power. In other words, all of us have unlimited potential. We only use about 1/3 of our potential. We lose the other 2/3 because we don't use it.
Right.
So
right.
we build ourselves into a little box of, well, this is all I can handle. And the key is what I say to myself, 2 things, 2 rules I have. Number 1, don't sweat the small stuff. Rule number 2, everything is small stuff. But it goes way beyond that when you really want to get scientific about it, because stress, the first form of stress is called acute stress. That is not a bad form of stress. That fits in with eustress, which is the thrill of winning, the thrill of competing. So we have our normal, everyday little stressors called acute stress. But when it goes after a period of time when you don't learn to control that and be the master of that, then it gets into chronic stress. Chronic stress is like acid dropping into the system.
Right.
It's worse than anger.
Right.
Worse
right.
than worrying, in a sense.
Right.
It is a form of worry. So basically, once you learn to control that, then it opens a whole new world of self-confidence, being able to get to the other 2/3 of your potential. It's that champion within, you know, that enables us to be the best at what we can be. But most people only are working on 3 or 4 cylinders, not 8 cylinders.
But you're always talking about the the concept changes, that we aren't born with the capability of dealing with so many concept changes and so many things that are happening on us, like, ah!
Well, yeah, we're not genetically engineered to handle this kind of many concept changes, this kind of stress. What's happened over the period since our Paleolithic ancestor days is that we've matured mentally faster than we have emotionally. So, and you actually, emotions are felt before thinking. Like when you go and look at positive thinking, the books, there's many books on positive thinking, but positive thinking has put more people in the hospital in the early grave than any other philosophy. You know why? Because basically when people use that and it doesn't work for them, well, I read the books, I did everything, I thought positive, and I'm still in the same situation. It's actually worse now because I'm dependent on that. Well, what's happened is they don't realize that we're wired more for emotion than we are for thinking. We're wired more for feeling. So the key thing is if you say, how do I feel? That makes a lot more sense than trying to control your thinking. So each hour goes by, ask yourself, how do I feel? If you don't feel good, then change whatever you're pursuing at that moment or change the thinking, because the problem, if you go around every day trying to control the thinking, you go nuts thinking about the thinking.
Right, and that's head thinking.
That's head
Whereas
thinking.
when you're feeling, coming from an emotional,
from the heart.
But I mean, even still, when we're thinking, it took me a while to learn to live a heart-empowered life, and I learned how to do that, calling it something else, just that good old gut feeling. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. That you know what you know when you know it, and it comes right from here, the core. And we've talked about this many, many times about living a heart-centered life and everything. And I know we're getting ready to take a brief little time out. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that P53 gene, was it?
Right.
Because that really that will give you a huge wake-up call to get to handle your stress, whatever it is. The reason why we want to share all this with you at the end of the year is we have a whole brand new year coming out. Hopefully many nice changes that are going to take place for each and every one of us in some form or another, and to try to get through the holidays. I mean, the holidays itself can be stressful. You know what I mean?
More people die during December than just about any other month of the year.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to give you one exercise. If you will do this one exercise, no matter what kind of stress you're going through, this will help you focus. Because when we can focus, we can be more creative.
Absolutely. They go hand in hand.
And being more creative, obviously, you can move forward in your business, in your personal life. It's just better all the way around. We're going to take a brief little time out, and we'll be right back after this. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
If you were injured in a car crash, what would you do first? Who would you call?
You claim to be injured, yet you spoke to and saw an attorney before you saw a doctor. Is that true?
Yes.
Lawyers on TV tell you to call them first. You can, but should you? The law has changed, and you may find yourself paying your own medical bills if you don't see a doctor in the first 14 days. If you've been in a car crash, you need My Crash MD, the interactive doctor visit, where you can consult virtually with a physician after you've been hurt in a car accident.
We can see you today. We'll take great care of you, regardless if you are at fault or not.
My Crash MD is an actual medical visit with a doctor. No waiting in an ER, no wasting time driving around town. Download My Crash MD free from anywhere and then see a doctor on any mobile device. Times are changing. If you don't get medical attention within the first 14 days after your crash, you could lose your insurance benefits. So if you've been in a car crash, help yourself and your accident case with My Crash MD.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV Show. I'm one of your hosts, Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is Dennis Kelly, my other half. And we come in to share all of what we know. And it takes a long time because we've been living a lot of stuff for a lot of years, haven't we?
Yeah, a lot of years.
Well, your next book is going to be hopefully put together here very soon, called Champion, the Champion Within, and sharing really a lot more secrets in print. But just before we took the break, we were talking about the stress and what happens to the body. And I really want to trigger my husband here to really talk about that P53 gene, because if we understand what really happens, I never realized that 5 minutes of an angry thought or depression or negativity can dump between 5 and 6 hours of bad chemicals in the body. But going beyond that, that statement alone is what changed my life. But this P53 gene, that is scary. What is all that about?
Well, it's basically one of the things that does us in quicker than we're supposed to be done in.
Oh.
Nature has an ingenious way of doing away with us when we don't seem to enjoy life. When we get stuck on things and we don't show appreciation and gratitude. That's where the cancer and heart disease and a lot of those seditious diseases come into play. And a lot of it has to do with going to Vegas.
Ah.
What I mean, I know I haven't lost my head, but the vagus happens to be the largest nerve in the system. It comes all the way, it starts all the way top of the head, all the way down to the abdominal area. The purpose of the P53 gene is to be like the body's barometer. It keeps track of everything going on in the body, outside the body, anything related to your temperature, to your mood, and it transfers that information to the brain. Then the brain tries to make whatever adjustments it needs to make to correct the situation. Well, that was set up many, many, many thousands of years ago. But that system, the problem right now is we are geared more to feeling than we are geared to thinking. In other words, we feel something before we really think. So we react rather than respond, so to speak. Well, the P53 gene is supposed to control all that. But because we are not genetically engineered to handle this kind of stress as human beings, then the P53 goes in the then the vagus nerve goes into what we call a overcare, overstimulation. Then it starts giving misinformation to the brain gets confused, and it's supposed to give information back to the vagus nerve, but gives the wrong information. Well, a whole set of bad things start happening there, and over a period of time, they do us in sooner. It keeps us from being healthy, and almost every disease can be associated to that, or some type of trauma in the body physically. Well, what happens when the P53 gene gets overstimulated, or the vagus nerve gets overstimulated, then it affects the P53 gene. Now, the P53 gene has one main purpose, that is to kill cancerous tumors. Or it's to
Really?
kill cancer before it forms into a tumor. And when the person's healthy, handling stress, relaxed, and happy with life, and is appreciative, then the P53 gene usually goes about its job killing the cancer tumors, or the pre-cancer tumors, so to speak. However, when the vagus nerve gets overstimulated and the brain starts getting confused, then the P53 gene in many cases turns into a rogue gene that actually starts attacking the good cells, killing the good cells. And over a period of time, you have premature aging. Voila.
That's what we were talking about in the first segment.
Right.
Is premature aging and sometimes premature death.
Well, when I learned about this many years ago, I decided to investigate and do a lot of research in the martial arts, because a lot of martial artists that practice mind control and emotion control, especially the emotion control, are unique human beings. They don't age like everybody else. They have tremendous internal and external strength, and they know where it's at. But it's hard for them to relate that to the average public.
Okay, so we only have a few minutes remaining. We're talking about this P53 gene, and in order to help us relax, will this allow us to tap into that P53 gene so that it does fight those bad cells that are coming into the body when we're stressed?
It all boils down to some really wonderful moves in Qigong.
Okay, and you're going to show us one.
Qigong is the best exercise in the world, bar any exercise. I don't care what anybody tells you. I done my homework on this. I use it to reduce my effect from Parkinson's disease. And I use it to overcome many things, win world championships, to stay in my peak performance. So I'm going to give you one move that, of all the moves, is the best move at isolating that gene and making that gene be able to relax and handle the extra information. It's sort of like rewiring the nervous system. And this is a simple exercise a child can do, a 10-year-old child. And it has such tremendous results. The key thing is the practitioner of this move has to stop. They have to block out any doubt, any criticism of the move. They can't say, oh, this is ridiculous, or I don't know if this is going to help. Right. Then no matter what you do, it's not going to help. Just trust me when I tell you that if you do this over a period of a couple of weeks, anytime you feel stressed, get into a situation where you can do this movement, and then eventually you can imagine yourself doing the movement and get almost the same benefit.
Exactly. So we have just under 3 minutes. Can you show everybody the focus movement? Because once we can get into focus, then it can help us focus on other things.
Well, that's true. Attention is the superior weapon of the superior warrior. Attention develops concentration. Concentration develops spiritual power. And spiritual power is the mightiest force in existence. I'm going to give you one move. Just practice this move every day, and it could change your life dramatically. It's called centering. So what you want to do is stand up with your feet shoulders width apart. You want to inhale through the nose deeply and exhale through the mouth very slowly. Just follow my movement, starting with your left hand. Inhale as we come up. Come right to the center of the head. Come right down as you exhale, slowly relaxing. Try not to have any internal conversation whatsoever. Practice that. It takes a lot of practice. Then your right hand, inhale. As we come up over the head, right down through the center. Imagine you're relaxing that vagus nerve and feeling totally relaxed. This actually takes and relaxes the vagus nerve because it comes right down through the center of our body, right all the way down to the abdominal section, as the Chinese call it, the Dantian area. So smell the flowers, slowly blowing out the candles. Try to keep that hand in your peripheral vision as far down as you can, because once you improve your peripheral vision, you improve your awareness that goes along with it psychologically and emotionally. Coming down slowly, feeling every cell in the body, all 150 trillion cells, relaxing and at ease, free from disease. Just slowly exhale as you come down right through the center, exhaling slowly. The slower you exhale, the better the movement. The exhale should take a little bit longer than the inhale so that you get rid of all the carbon dioxide in the cells so you can get more oxygen into those cells. I could spend 2 hours on talking about biologically why this movement works, what it does with all the cells, how the body releases the great endorphins, how the hormones change. And so that's the movement.
And
that's simple.
And it is really simple, and we get so many people giving us testimonials on just before they're getting ready to do a speech, Maybe
Yes.
if you're doing public speaking, or if you just want to be more creative, because I notice the less stress I have, I can be so much more creative. My prayer goes deeper, my meditation goes deeper, and then I just have those aha moments. And I know from being with you for close to 20 years now that what you have taught me has worked for me, and what you have taught everyone else in our classes and in our coaching, it really does work. And we only have a minute remaining, and we'll say our goodbyes for today. We'll be back next Monday with more great tips. We're spending this whole month, and as we launch January, as much as we can do to help you live the best quality of life. Now, you can also go to dennis-kelly.com, and you can see his reworked, reconstructed, and designed website. And if you would like to get more exercises, including the focus, that's part of the 6 quick fixes, right?
Right. There are 6 quick fixes that can change your body, your mind, and emotion dramatically. And that's just
On the
one
spot.
of them.
On the spot, immediately.
That's why we call it the quick fix.
Yeah, exactly, because sometimes we really need that.
Better than taking a phenobarbital.
Or self-medicating in many cases, and there's a lot of...
So many people take cocaine, alcohol. You don't need any of that stuff. This is the greatest fix in the world.
Exactly, and thank you, James, for putting my husband's website up there. I'll tell you, it's a feel-good website. You can go there and check out some of the different things, the philosophies that we have. And if you go to barbaramarville.com, I want you to go ahead and click on we don't have time to show it right now, I don't think, but there is a video that I have on there called 1 Million Hearts. And that I've had on my website for years and years. It's the one from Heart Math Institute.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a beautiful video that walks you through the heart exercise. So feel free to check that out, and if you need any more information, you can always get a hold of us. And we will see you next Monday, same time, same place. Thank you so much for joining us today on Prime Time. Have a great week.
Hasta la vista.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Yep.
I know. John.